Prime Minister. Jean Castex has just confirmed that 4 people have been injured, 2 of them seriously, in what looks to be a knife attack in central Paris, and it happened not far from the Boulevard Richard-Lenoir, which is close to the former offices of the satirical magazine Charlie Hebdo, where, of course, there was an attack by Islamist militants 5 years ago. 12 people, all members of the Charlie Hebdo magazine, were murdered in that attack 5 years ago. Well, police were saying that 2 potentially dangerous suspects were still at large, but we are just hearing that one of those suspects may have been caught by the police. Let's get more detail. France 24 reporter Chris Moore is down at the scene. And Chris, what more do we know at this stage?
Well, at the moment, the police are busy clearing out a fairly wide security perimeter around this area in the 11th arrondissement of Paris, not far from the Place de la République square. In terms of what happened a little earlier on, well, the police saying this was a blade attack. Some local media have been saying a machete attack outside the former offices of the satirical magazine Charlie Hebdo. As you said, we believe that there were 4 people injured in the attack, 2 of them apparently very seriously. Police saying they're looking for 2 suspects. One police source that we've spoken to says that an arrest has been made, potentially one of those suspects, down the road at the Place de la Bastille. This area is being, as I said, cleared out. Local services, creches, for example, schools, retirement homes have been put on lockdown and people told to avoid the area. In terms of the location, as I said, it appears to have taken place near to the site of those notorious attacks back at the start of 2015, near the offices of the satirical magazine Charlie Hebdo. Obviously, they are the former offices. Since those attacks, many of the surviving journalists have been working elsewhere, many of them under police protection. But in terms of when all this happened, as you said, 5 years on from the attacks, at a time when France is staging a trial over those attacks, which has once again raised issues of the right to blasphemy, the right to freedom of the press, and France's particular model of secularism.
And Chris, we're hearing reports also that police found a suspect package close to the scene. Do you know anything at all about that?
Talking to the police source about 5 minutes or so ago, they said that was the reason that the security perimeter around this building was being expanded. All I can tell you at the scene is that we've been pushed back to about 200 or 300 meters or so from the sign of this attack. The police are currently busy moving both ourselves and members of the public a little further back behind security cordons. That police source, as I said, had said that there was a suspect package there, but obviously the situation is very unclear, and the police are taking no chances.
Yeah, we can very much see that the police are taking no chances. They're moving people along, and we're hearing that thousands of school children are having to stay inside out of fears for their safety because, as we're hearing, one potentially very dangerous suspect could still be at large. We're hearing that one person has been arrested, 2 people gravely injured. And, of course, this is an important and symbolic location, isn't it, Chris, as you were just telling us, because this is very close to the former offices, not the current offices of the satirical magazine Charlie Hebdo. They, of course, had to move to a secret location to continue printing the magazine because of the very high risk that they face and because of the repeated threats against them. So just talk us through a bit about where you are and where exactly this attack appears to have taken place.
It's in the 11th arrondissement of Paris. It's kind of the centre of the east of the French capital. It's a fairly busy area of bars and restaurants, which is at the centre not just of France's and the world's attention surrounding that attack on Charlie Hebdo. It's also just down the road from the Bataclan Theatre, where, of course, there was an even more devastating attack at the end of the same year. You were talking there about the significance of Charlie Hebdo. The issues surrounding that attack made headlines for weeks, not just here in France, but around the world. They were, as I said, issues about France's particular model of secularism, the way the country treats its sizable Muslim minority, but also much wider issues of the right to free speech and the right to blaspheme. The reason that Charlie Hebdo angered some people was that it had, over the years, hit out at all kinds of targets, including established religion, and has, as such, published caricatures of the Prophet Muhammad. And these are issues which haven't gone away 5 years later. The staging of this trial over the attacks brought all of these issues back to the forefront, and issues to do with tensions within France, but also issues which the French establishment, if you like, the media and the government, once again defending people's right to blaspheme, defending people's right to free speech, which is something Charlie Hebdo's defenders said they were always upholding before anything else.
And I'm sure looking at these scenes of armed police, fire engines, bomb disposal squads and all the rest of it, back on these streets here in Paris is really bringing back a lot of really difficult memories for a lot of people, as we saw those really violent and bloody attacks in the same neighbourhood just a few years ago. So very dramatic scenes there coming to us from central Paris, from the 11th arrondissement. And that's our reporter Chris Moore.